Welcome to Podcast One. We hope you'll support our sponsors who bring you these podcasts absolutely free and with limited interruptions. And of course, we appreciate you listening to this show, which will get started in just a second. He's defeated every champion from every organization the sport of mixed martial arts has ever seen and retired from the octagon as the biggest draw and the industry's highest paid athlete of all time. And now Chael Sonnen's on PodcastOne.com. And for that, you're welcome.
What's happening, guys? Happy Friday. I have got a ton of energy because I had another great night's sleep on my Casper mattress. I will tell you guys, it is simply the most obsessively engineered, comfortable mattress I've ever slept on. True story real quick. Then I'll tell you guys how to get one. I went on a staycation this week. Staycation, checked into a hotel that was 25 minutes away from my house. Took my wife and little maniac with me. They had an outdoor pool. Pools are very hard to come by in Oregon, so we thought, we're going to go out here, enjoy the pool, order some room service, watch a movie, couple $100, and it'll feel like we're on a vacation. All right, great. We left a night early. Perfectly nice room at a perfectly nice hotel, but it was not a Casper mattress, and that is a true story. They didn't have the pillows that we were used to. We stayed one night. It was supposed to be two. We were getting ready to go to bed on the second night, and we said, we miss our bed. And we went home, and I will tell you, if you're getting a good night's sleep, what doctors and experts say should be about 8 hours, that represents a third of the day, which is a third of your week, of your month, of your year, and of your life. If there's anything to get right, guys, it is your mattress. The Casper mattress has over 30,000 global reviews. Joseph G. from Colorado said, as a former athlete, sleep and comfort is key to performance, and Casper does that now for my life and for my wife. Dozens of pro basketball, baseball, and football players sleep on a Casper, and they rave about it. Skip the typical mattress shopping game. Buying a Casper is easy. Order online. It's delivered to your door in a compact box. Free shipping and free returns. It's available in the U.S., Canada, and now the U.K. Don't sit on the sidelines. Try the Casper for 100 nights in your own home. If you don't like it, send it back. You are going to get $50 towards any mattress purchase by visiting Casper.com/Chael. Use the promo code Chael. That's CASPER.com/Chael. Use the promo code Chael. Terms and conditions apply. All right, guys. I wanted to get to something. So Weidman fights over the weekend. All right, great. He wins a fight, and his father came into the ring. And I believe his father's his corner man. I believe that I couldn't see who was in his corner, but his dad's been in the ring a couple of times in the past. I believe you have to be a cornerman to get in the ring. That part isn't as relevant to the story. So Weidman and Bisping are in this back and forth. And, God bless Bisping, because he is always keeping it fun. And he's always just saying what he's thinking. And he tells Weidman, and I quote, "Get your father on a leash. It's embarrassing," end quote. So Weidman goes on Ariel's show, the MMA Hour, and he said, kind of say anything you want about me or my career. You got to leave my dad out of it. Well, in this case, Weidman's wrong. Weidman is wrong. The second his father got into that ring and took that microphone, he is now public domain. He went from off limits to on limits. All cornermen and all coaches are on limits when they grab that microphone. They inserted themselves. They lost the right to privacy, and they lost the privilege. And yeah, I bet that's a tough one when somebody's talking some trash about your dad, but Bisping got this one right. He did. And the one thing about Bisping, he's in a fun spot right now. Bisping's a dick. I know Bisping. I know him personally. He's one of my favorite guys to be around. He'd be yours too. And you guys would say the same thing I just said. You go, that guy's a dick. But I really like him. There's something charming about it once you get to know the guy. He's real and he's himself. He's in a fun place because his dance card is full. He's got Robert Whittaker. And possibly GSP, whatever the hell is going on there, however those guys think they can get together, I don't believe that they can. I believe it's going to be Whittaker, but you get the point. It's either Bisping Whitaker. Well, it is Bisping Whitaker. And if something happens, you can have a little discussion about this GSP thing that GSP and Bisping himself are trying to get going. Fine. The reason that's a fun spot is Bisping can do and say anything he wants to anybody. He's never going to have to fight him. He's not going to be in there with Chris Weidman. He's not going to be in there with Yoel Romero. It doesn't work that way. Bisping's got one belt. Whitaker's got the other belt. Those two are going to fight. And Bisping's time is running out. I don't have that from him. I don't have insider information. I can just see it. I've seen it with other guys. You can tell when they're starting to consider getting out. He's a good commentator. He's got a lot of opportunities with commentating. He's got a little show on Sirius that's turning into a little bit bigger show on Sirius. He's a talented guy. And it just comes down to a real simple question. Are you going to fight if you don't have to? If you don't have to go out there and do it, are you going to do it? And sometimes the answer to that is yes. Sure, there's some reasons to, but you look at Bisping, okay, you're not as young as you once were. You build up a ton of great memories. You climb the highest mountain, which is to the championship. You defended it. You're getting ready to go out and defend it again. I would suspect that when the wheels fall off that championship bus, we're just not going to see him fight again. Apparently, he's got a knee injury right now, which has kind of slowed him up and delayed him. That's why Whitaker was in there with Romero in the first place as opposed to Bisping, apparently. Can't confirm that. I read that. I believe it's true. All of those details I just gave you aren't to give you some kind of description or insight into Michael Bisping's life. It's to explain to you why he's having so much fun right now. Everybody's coming at him. They think he's an easy fight, which makes me scratch my head. I mean, if you think you can beat Bisping, it's one thing. To call Michael Bisping an easy fight, you just haven't been paying attention. Ask Rockhold how easy that fight was. Okay. Ask Vanderlei. I'll jump in on that. I was in there with him. Ask those guys how easy that fight was. Go ask Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy won. Tim Kennedy still wouldn't call it an easy fight. Dan Henderson beat him once, lost to him once, never called him an easy fight. So a lot of guys are coming after him. George is in that same boat. George likes the style matchup. I think that Weidman takes a look at it. Weidman likes that style matchup. Romero, some of these other guys. Well, Bisping can sit around and smack them all. He's got the microphone. He's got the show on Sirius. He can respond to them all. He's got all the same social medias that they do, but they don't have the same outlets. And in this case, Weidman is wrong. And that probably is a tough spot. I would not be. You put yourself in another guy's shoes, right? The most basic rule. Treat other people the way you want to be treated. Put yourself in their spot. I would not be crazy about that if somebody told me to get my dad on the leash because he's embarrassing. But he does lose the right to privacy as soon as he gets into that octagon on television and grabs the microphone. And when he's acting a fool and doing it and letting that excitement and everything come through, man, he doesn't get treated any different than anybody else that was doing that. If it was a cornerman or a coach, if you put him in that spot, he becomes fair game. And right, wrong, or indifferent, those are the rules. Those are the rules. If he was in the stands, that doesn't happen. If he was in the back, if he was at home, Bisping would be completely wrong here. But as soon as he crosses that gate and he steps into the octagon, and he takes a microphone on national TV, he's fair game. That's just the way it works. I'm just clearing that up. You guys decide who the good guy and the bad guy in that is. I'm just telling you, as far as the rules go, Bisping followed him in this case. All right, let's look ahead. So we got Daniel Cormier, we got John Jones coming up this weekend, coming up tomorrow. I am out in ESPN. I'm out in Bristol right now. And I can tell you, we got a pretty good buzz going for this. But being in the mecca of sports, I can also tell you there is more energy towards a fight that's a month away between Conor and Mayweather. And that's interesting to me. I didn't think I would fall. I'm learning something about myself, okay? Because I'm a hardcore fan, guys. I miss the mark often because I'm so close to the trees I can't see the forest. I'm not able to step back and observe the scene at 30,000 feet. I'm right there in it. I want to see all the matches. Great, I got something to do in August, got the big box off. But I got something to do tomorrow, got the light heavyweight championship. I'll tell you, I'm learning that I am more into hype and buzz than I knew I was. I knew I liked that, but I didn't know that whoever's got the most hype and buzz, I mean, you're not seeing anybody around campus today. I've talked to a few guys, sports guys. Nobody's talking about Canelo and Triple G. Now, that's going to change. They're going to get their moment. But this box off, man, it has eclipsed everything. And the reason that's so interesting to me is Daniel Cormier versus Jon Jones is the biggest fight in MMA in a meaningful period of time. Maybe since the last time Jon Jones fought Daniel Cormier. You guys remember that fight? How good business was that night for the UFC? Sold out arena, every media outlet covered it leading up. They were there live at Press Row. They covered the post-fight, and people got ready for round two. Round two was supposed to go down at UFC 200, billed as the biggest show of all time. Fight falls apart. Well, that sucks for UFC 200, but make no mistake, that's going to add some drama and add some anticipation for when those two monsters finally do get in there and get this beef settled. So here we are. I mean, here we are. They're in Anaheim. I don't think there's a ticket left. I believe they sold out early. I can tell you right now, they will sell out. I believe they already have. And tickets were not cheap. But this whole thing got going before the box office was announced. The big box off. Conor and Floyd. They've lost momentum. People just aren't talking about this. I was at the gym yesterday sparring, MMA practice. And one of my teammates said, yeah, I'd really like to see that fight. When is it? When is the fight? It's this week. These guys already weighed in. Always interesting when Daniel's got to weigh in, man. He's never going to make that one easy, but he's always going to make it. So now these guys are going to fight. And I just think it's an interesting match. There's so many talking points on this. Look, we can look at the last fight, and I think we should. History is the greatest trajectory for the future. History said that Jon Jones whipped him. History also says if a younger guy beats an older guy and they rematch, the younger guy will beat him again, only quicker. That is the rule of combat. But Daniel Cormier is a special athlete. And is there any legs to Jon Jones and USADA? That's relevant. He's coming off a suspension. Was he up to something that nobody knew about, and now he's cleaned his act up like most guys once they sit in the principal's office and realize, okay, I'm going to get caught? I can't really speak to Jon Jones on that. I don't know. And I always kind of thought from the beginning. Do you guys remember that when Jon went down? I was there for that. Let me recap this for you, because this is relevant, because we have to live in the world of speculation on this. Nobody ever really knows what a guy's up to. A guy gets hit, he comes out with his story, never speaks of it again, and it goes away. Nobody really knows. So the whole thing is speculation, in fairness, right? I was there, just to remind you guys, I was there at UFC 200, and I got a call. I was working for ESPN. I got a call, hey, you got to be on a phone line. Dana White just called an immediate press conference regarding UFC 200. So, and this was on, I believe, Thursday. Weigh-ins are the next day, show the following day. If I'm wrong, it was Wednesday, but I believe this was Thursday. Relevance being it's the absolute last minute. He calls a press conference. We all know this is about one thing. Somebody pissed hot. So I'm instantly getting ready for what I'm going to say. I know it's Brock. It's got to be Lesnar. Juiced out of his mind. And he got hit. Okay. So when Dana calls a press conference, Dana goes up to the mic and he welcomes everybody, and then Dana sits down. It was one of the most interesting body language things I've ever seen out of press conference. Dana was so deflated. I mean, he's got this huge show. He's got his megastars all coming out. From Misha to Nunes to Frankie to Jose to Brock to Hunt to Daniel to Jones. I mean, he's got all his stars. One of them's gone. Dana sits down. Jeff Nowitzki gets up and actually delivers the news, and Dana just sits there. I mean, he's beside himself. He's disappointed. 2, he's angry. 3, he's embarrassed. And there he is, and he's going to give the news like a man, face to face, tell everybody what happened. So Nowitzki gets up and he says that USADA has been informed of a testing violation by John Jones. And I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, it wasn't Lesnar? All right, it's Jones. Wow. But where I'm going with this story is that night, after all this hit, John Jones then calls a press conference for the next morning at 8 a.m. Now, guys, this is speculation. I'm well aware that this does not clear a guy. But if we're operating in that world, we got to be fair to John. We've never seen a guilty man in this situation hold a press conference the next day, and the next day represented about 12 hours. This news came down from Dana and Nowitzki and USADA around 8 p.m. John is front and center at 8 a.m. So in 12 hours, he's not only decided he's going to do a press conference, he gets up, he walks through the hotel, he walks through the hallways with fans that are saying terrible things to him. He's embarrassed, he's ashamed, he's all these different things, and he faces the music. Now, when he faces the music, he doesn't have a PR person go out and read a script, and John just sits there. He doesn't have an attorney that shoots down every questioner speaks for him. John doesn't stand up and make a statement and then leave. He sits there and does a Q&A. A guilty guy, those just aren't the actions of a guilty man. That doesn't make him innocent, but those are, I am right when I tell you, that is not what we have seen before from a guilty man. And he came out, he said, I did not do this. I also understand how good these tests are, and if the test says it's in my system, it's in my system, but I'm just telling you, intent-wise, I didn't do this. And they went back and they did find some kind of a taint. However the story ended up getting worked out. Relevance being, if we're going to speculate, and a lot of people have, a lot of media have, Daniel Cormier has, his team has, people have speculated we're going to see a different John Jones. We do every time a guy gets hit by USADA. He comes out, he's different, and he's worse. And we're banking on that a little bit. I think that's fair for them to do. History does tell us when a guy gets hit, he does come out different. And it's worse. But in John's case, if John's story was accurate, and history also tells us guys never tell us an accurate story. They go get their story together and come out. But in John's case, he did 12 hours later. 5 or 6 of those hours, he had to be sound asleep. That only gave him a few hours to get his hustle together. I don't know, man. I believed him. I guess, you know what? That's what I'm bouncing around saying. I believe John Jones. How do you like that? Am I a sucker? After everything he showed us, am I a sucker? Maybe. But I was there. He called the press conference. He walked through it. He took every single question. His manager was sitting up there. His manager did not step in at any point and tell him, John, zip it. He just let him talk. I believe John Jones. How do you like that? How do you like that? Who's with me on that? Does anyone else believe John Jones? Is old Chael being that naive? So let's take that part out of it. I have to, because I believe Jones. So I think he will be the same guy. I don't think he was relying on substances and getting away with a whole bunch of stuff. I had gone on Joe Rogan's show. I told Rogan a story about the time USADA came to John Jones's gym and he hid under the ring. And one of his coaches was so mad. Coach Winklejohn said, how could Chael say something like, what a terrible thing to say. That is not true. Well, let's be fair to Winklejohn, okay? How would I know? How would I know? I go out and make a crazy statement like that John Jones hid under the ring, hiding from USADA and had to stay there for 6 hours? Yeah, Wink's right. How would I know? But what I can confirm, 100% confirm, is that whether that story is true or not, USADA believes it's true. USADA sources they do believe it's true, and they did consider getting a forensic warrant and going back under that ring with the belief that if he hid under there for 6 hours while their team sat in the lobby and waited for him to come to the gym, at some point he would have had to have peed. So I can't confirm you they think it's true, but it's starting to look like, this is according to John, hey, I didn't want to take a test for street drugs. You know, had the cocaine, I was doing the pot thing, and I don't know. I'm just telling you, I believe him. I believe John Jones. So we got to take that speculation out. For me, I got to take it out. And then you got to go, well, let's look at Daniel's side, okay? Because it's not just speculation on old JJ here. You got to look at Daniel's side. When Daniel got ready for the first one, he had Rockhold training every day with him. Cain Velasquez is Daniel's number one training partner. And Cain has been in there as of late helping Daniel get ready. But Cain took big gaps. And guys, you can talk about these training camps all you want, man. There's not a lot that goes on at a training camp. Most guys that go off to a training camp, that's just code for my wife and kids are driving me nuts and I got to get out of the house. You don't get much better in a training camp. You sharpen some things up. You start to think about, maybe what your strategy is, which guys call game plans, which I think is weird. Ought to be called a strategy. But that's really all you do. The moves that you're going to use on Saturday night when the house is on fire and the championship's on the line are things you learned 10 and 15 and 20 years ago. It's the things that you worked on 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 years ago. It's not the stuff you worked on during this training camp phase of 6 to 8 or 10 weeks. So even if Cain has been in there helping Daniel get ready for this the last number of weeks, well, he was also gone for 6 and 7 and 8 months. Speculation. Does that matter? I don't know. But it is fair and logical for me as an observer to look at Daniel's last training camp where the fight did not turn out the way he wanted it to and say that was an excellent training camp. It was. And then to look at the preparation for this one and say, I don't know if he had the same bodies that he was most comfortable with for the same amount of time. I don't know. With Cain missing. I don't know. A little bit of speculation there. I do like what he did with his weight. He brought in Tyler Mitten. Tyler moved into the house, controlled what went in Daniel's body for about a month and a half. That was good discipline. That was a good job learning from the struggles he had in his last fight with Johnson and what he's up against in California with their new weight restrictions and their new weigh-in protocol. So instead of complaining about it like most guys would have, Daniel dealt with it. He got disciplined. He did it early. He spent the money. He took the time. And he looked great. He looked really great. I just finished the weigh-in. I'm sitting in the studio right now, out here at ESPN. I watched the weigh-in. I started recording with you guys. I thought he looked great. I will tell you, when this show is done, get over and listen to Jim Rome, because the smack off is today. And I am coming hot right out of the gate. I love to record the smack offs for you guys. I'm not in my studio. ESPN was gracious enough to loan me this studio for a show that is not theirs. So I could not start asking for engineers and producers. I had to just kind of hang my head and duck in here and push the buttons myself. So forgive me, I won't be able to connect you to the smack off, but all you got to do is get over to Jim Rome's show. Somebody is getting crowned today. And I'm freestyling it. I have always written a script in the past. Everybody writes a script. It's wise to do. You can't get caught with a script. Even though we all have one, you cannot get caught with it. If you get caught having a script, you're done. And you guys are going, Well, Chael, what are you talking about? Everybody does a script. Everybody knows everybody has a script. How do you get caught with a script? Well, I'll give you an example. Number of years ago, maybe 4 years ago, some guy had multiple pages, and at some point he's reading his script. Oh my gosh, he was on fire. He was doing a great job. But when he turned one of the pages, it was a loud turn. It sounded like this. Well, we could hear that. Let me do that for you again. We could hear that. As the audience, we could hear him turning the pages. He got caught having a script. He's out. He's not leaving with the crown. Another very common one is where somebody is reading their script and they lose their place, like I just did right there. You'll hear a guy do that, and he'll try to regroup. You got what? You're reading off a script. You got caught. I can't take that risk. I can't take any risks this year. I'm so upset. I am so upset at my 8th place finish from last year because I tried to get cute with it. I tried to tell a story and bring these guys along. And the dum-dums down in Jim's studio weren't smart enough to keep up with my genius, and I got hit for it. And I will not make that mistake again. I am coming on hot. I've been pissed off for 365 days, and I've kept it in. I've done Jim's show. And I went on there, and I just told Jim my story. Jim, how's everything going? And, oh, yeah, I got the big fight this weekend. Well, I was pissed inside for 365 days. And the second he turns me loose, I'm coming hard. And I'm not making the mistake of the script because I don't have one. I'm coming at him. I'm coming at Lef. I'm coming at some jabroni named Jeff Passan. I don't even know how to say this jobber's name. Passon? Jeff Passon? Is that passion? Is that pissin'? Is that... I'm going to call him Passan, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope that's not his name. But I'm going to say Passan because it's spelled Passon. It should be Passan. I hope it's wrong because that's very condescending. Anytime you don't know the guy's name, it's condescending. That's the whole point of the smack off, Jeff, and you should have kept your nose out of it because you're going to take some bumps today. No script, freestyling. You guys come at me, I'm coming at you. I'm a 2-time champion, and you all are going to find out why. And you want to know what's sad? You want to know what's sad about the smack off? It's only voice. I wish it was a visual. And do you want to know why? I'm looking handsome today. I really am, if I can give myself that compliment. I have a great shave. Do you want to know why I have a great shave? You probably already know. Dollar Shave Club. Guys, it's a smarter choice. Get a great shave at a great price conveniently. They deliver the razors right to your door. It's an awesome life hack and a no-brainer choice. You no longer have to schlep through the store to buy cheap, disposable razors that give you a cheap, disposable shave. And you don't have to spend a fortune for razors and gimmick shaving technology that you don't need. I'll tell you guys from my experience, I got to be an expert by now. I've been shaving for 26 years. I got to be considered an expert. There is no such thing as shave technology. Put on your lather and have a good razor. This isn't rocket science. And when you use the Dollar Shave Club, DSC, Executive Razor, with their Dr. Carver shave butter, the blade just gently glides, giving me such a smooth shave. Their Dr. Carver shave butter is transparent for a more precise shave, helps prevent ingrown hairs, and fights razor bumps. You too can make the smarter choice by joining Dollar Shave Club. This might not help you dominate Jeff Passan on the smack off, which I'm getting ready to do, but it will help you have a nice shave. Guys, for a limited time, new members can get the first month of the Executive Razor with a tube of Dr. Carver shave butter for only $5 with free shipping. After that, razors are just a few bucks a month. That's a $15 value for only $5. In your first month box, you're going to get an awesome, weighty handle, a full cassette of 4 cartridges, and a tube of their shave butter. After your first month, replacement cartridges ship automatically at their regular price. There are no hidden fees. There are no commitments. Cancel anytime you like. You can only get this offer exclusively at dollarshaveclub.com/Chael. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Chael.
Hey, have you heard? Podcast One has a whole bunch of awesome new shows filled with big names that are waiting for you on our brand new, amazing app. This one's a game changer. There's Norman Lear talking to Amy Poehler, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Charles Barkley. Geffen Playhouse Unscripted with Bryan Cranston, Josh Gad, and soon Neil Patrick Harris. Nice. OC Real Housewife Heather Dubrow's World. Lady Gang's Three Mimosa Podcast with Leah Michelle, Nelly Furtado, Elle King, and more. Plus, every episode of The Adam Carolla Show, Dan Patrick, and Rich Eisen. And if you like what happens in the ring, we've got Steve Austin, Chris Jericho, Chael Sonnen, and a whole bunch more. So download our one-of-a-kind new app and see for yourself. Go to the App Store, Google Play, or download it now at podcastone.com. You're welcome. You're welcome with Chael Sonnen.
Oh, did you guys see John Jones, to go back to Jones and Cormier. John Jones at one of his media scrums or conference calls had said, something about his ideal fight would be a mega fight with him versus Brock Lesnar. So Brock gets on Twitter and Brock responds, anytime, anywhere. I don't want to waste much time on this, and I hate when these things come up that have absolutely no validity or realm of possibility. But sometimes I'm forced to. I came into the studio today, and Justin said to me, oh, Lesnar's going to fight John Jones. So when that perception is out there, when John Jones makes a statement and Brock responds and then the media picks it up and puts out some fake news headline, it's going to influence a guy like Justin who said he thought the fight was happening because he didn't take time to read the story and he just saw the headline. Well, that's reasonable, so now a guy like me's got to talk about it. First off, John's right when he called that a mega fight. Oh, yeah, that'd do some business all right. That would do some business and create some speculation. And if you think on first glance that Brock's just too big for him, I think you would be very sadly mistaken. But if you think that John Jones is just so good at MMA wrestling that he's going to go take Brock down and keep him there and start dropping those elbows, you are sadly mistaken. That's an interesting match. It's got no realm of possibility behind it. And John's getting a little bit annoying with this whole I'm going up to heavyweight routine. It's not a great gimmick to start with. Run your gimmick into the ground if it works. But this dangling of I'm going to go up to heavyweight, then go, John. Nobody gives a damn. The heavyweight division has sucked for years, surprisingly. In sports history, the heavyweight championship has been the most coveted prize. But that changed a number of years ago when a young man named Oscar De La Hoya broke onto the scene and then passed that torch to a young man named Floyd Mayweather. It's just changed. The smaller guys now do get their due. And the heavyweight scene hasn't been coveted for a while. The light heavyweight scene has. Because of guys like John Jones. The Chuck Liddells, the Randy Couture's. I mean, when you think of some of the biggest fights ever, the light heavyweights are the ones that have dominated. But John has chosen this angle for years. Oh, to nauseousness that he's going to go up to heavyweight. Then just go. No one cares. You're not going to do better business at heavyweight than you do at 205. You do damn good business at 205. You'd be just fine at heavyweight. But that's not some kind of dream match that anybody wants to see. And I don't know who influenced John to tell him it was, because he won't shut up about this I'm going up to heavyweight routine. Then go. It's 1 pound. Right now you weigh in at 205. If you weigh in at 206, you're now a heavyweight. It's a pound. Zip it. If you want to go up, go up. Better yet, quit getting suspended and in trouble and just get in the ring against somebody somewhere. And I wouldn't care if he went to heavyweight. There's some matches. I watch him and Stipe, him and Kane. There's plenty of things I'd watch him do. It's just not a good gimmick. Nobody's pining for it. Nobody's writing articles that, we might see John Jones versus Cain Velasquez someday. That article's never been written. Nobody cares. They have talked about seeing you against Rumble. They have talked about seeing you at DC. Those are at 205. So whatever this shtick is about, I'm going to heavyweight, man, run it into the ground if you want. But right now, you're wasting time. Because no one's pining for it. Your job right now is to let people know you're fighting DC tomorrow. If you want to go into business for yourself, and there is a time to do that. It's not for heavyweight, man. You've been working this for 3 years. You haven't done it, and nobody's asked you to. Nobody's going, wow, yeah, John, please do that. We really want to see you and Overeem fight. Shut up. We don't. And if that's the fight that gets made, then we'll tune in and make the most of it. It's just a weird shtick. I haven't got it. I've never got it. I don't know why he talks about it. It's not the coveted division. There's not coveted fights. There's no build-up. There's no hype. There's nothing around it. Stop. Stop with it. Or go do it. Those are your choices. But quit talking about it. I'll tell you guys another thing. Am I a little cranky today? Justin, am I a little cranky today? This is because of the smack-off. I'm having a perfectly good day. I'm pissed off because of the smack-off. I need to be. I'm coming hot. And I'm fired up, and some jabroni named Jeff Passan jumped in. I don't know how he got in or why he's in, but he's going to find out that this is where the big boys play. He's going to get his feelings hurt today, and he deserves it. He's sticking his nose somewhere it doesn't belong. He doesn't belong in the smack-off. He doesn't belong anywhere in the jungle. And he's going to take some lumps today. Him and his little voice and his confusing last name are going to get roughed up as soon as I walk out of this studio and call in. But anyway, these are the glasses that I'm seeing the world through today. All right, I don't have on rose-colored glasses. I have on smack-off glasses. My head is in the game. It wasn't last year because I miscalculated the dummies at Rome's studio that would be judging this and thought they would be intelligent enough to go along with the story and the poetry and the eloquentness that I brought to the table, but they didn't get it. They're not smart enough. So I'm going to have to dumb it down and toughen it up. So everybody's getting hit, including on this show. So take this as an apology if you want, or take it as an explanation if you want. But I will tell you one thing that did put me in a little bit better mood. This actually made me happy. Jose Aldo. You know who that is, of course? Okay. Jose Aldo is nothing short of amazing. If you want to talk about a talent, and people talk about him, the pound-for-pound best fighter, I hate that pound-for-pound stuff, but I find myself doing it too. And if we're going to do this ridiculous field that is impossible to prove called pound-for-pound, it's very fair to bring up Jose Aldo. The guy is amazing. He's also annoying and boring as hell. And one of the reasons for that, I find him to be the constant victim. Every time he opens his mouth, somebody's not paying him enough. Somebody's not promoting him enough. Somebody's not giving him the right fight. He doesn't feel good. He doesn't want to make the weight. It was too short a notice. He's never not the victim. He can't get this fight. He got screwed against Conor. He should get the rematch. Give me a rematch. They offer him the rematch. Give me the rematch. I'll do it anywhere, anytime. Okay, let's do it on this Saturday. Oh, I don't want to do it. You could see where that would annoy a guy like me, and it does. But I want to give him some credit because he did a very cool thing, and I've wanted to like Jose. I've wanted to because he's such a talent. I've met him one time in my life. He didn't speak English. I don't speak Portuguese, but we had a guy that we kind of figured it out, and I left there going, cool guy. So I've wanted to like him. He just makes it impossible because he won't shut up about what a victim he is. Right? The guy's rolling around. He's got a Range Rover and an Aston Martin living on the beach in Brazil, and he's famous. And he wants us to cry in our beer for him. I mean, shut up. But he did a cool thing. He's been calling out Conor McGregor. It's fake. He doesn't want Conor McGregor. He was offered. Aside from all of these things, he's been calling out Conor McGregor. A couple of days ago, I saw it today, but I believe he said this on Wednesday. He said, I'm done with McGregor. Max Holloway is the true champion. Now, Max Holloway beat him fair and square. Awesome fight by both guys. Ton of heart by both guys. My respect for Jose, and it's always been high, in fairness to his skills, but my respect for him went up in this defeat. Because when he was in trouble, when he was hurt, he was trying to fight through it. I mean, he looked like Gilbert Melendez pushing through no matter what was happening. And it got to the point where he was not physically able to, and the fight was stopped. But you just left there going, oh my goodness, what a competitor. And the same for Max Holloway, but the bottom line was, we got a new champion, his name is Max Holloway. Well, the old champion never wants to give that due. And for business reasons, sometimes it's smart not to. Let's run it out there and do it one more time. It can keep yourself out there a little bit. Max did the right thing. When you are beat by a man in a fair contest, you pass the torch and you give him his night and you try to come back and maybe you can fix it down the road, but you make sure when that torch is passed and it's a fair contest that you tip your hat to him. That's the right thing to do. It took Aldo a couple of months, but I don't care about that. I really do think he deserves some credit for making that statement about Max. And I've watched Max get slighted left and right. And Max will probably eventually grow into one of these prima donna fighter dicks like the rest of them. But for right now, young, hungry, great attitude, I'm ready to fight every Saturday against anybody, Max Holloway. He might be my second favorite fighter beside Frankie Edgar. He really might. And the fact that Jose would come out of the blue and put him over without the backhanded left turn of, but I know I could beat him and just give me the... No, he didn't try to put himself in here at all. He simply came out and made a nice statement against a young man who fought a fair fight and beat him clean. It was a cool thing to do. And I thought that I owed that to Jose, because I will give Jose lumps on this show, and he deserves them. But he also deserves, the other side of the coin is he does deserve that credit today. Guys, get ready. Absolutely get yourself ready, because it's coming. On August 15th, A&E's Emmy-nominated groundbreaking docu-series, Leah Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath, returns for Season 2, 10 all-new episodes. Leah Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath, follows Leah along with high-level former Scientology executives and church members as they delve deep into the shocking stories of abuse, heartbreak, and harassment experienced by those who have left the church and spoken publicly about their experiences. This season, Leah continues her quest to give a voice to victims of the Church of Scientology. This series also explores accounts of former members whose lives have been significantly impacted by the church's practices. Remini is helping people take action, turning survivors into fighters, revealing truths and seeking justice. Watch the first season of Leah Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath online, on demand, and in the A&E app. Did you do that? Did you do that, Justin? You did. You did do that. Did you do that to throw me off, or did you do that because you know the second I get done, I'm getting up, I'm walking out, I'm calling Jim Rome, and you're trying to piss me off? Because I will tell you what, my good friend, though I appreciate your support for 365 days, I have been ready. The listeners can hear it in my tone. I am not working right now. I'm coming to you with the full shoot. I have no script. I'm coming after them all. Jim Rome himself is going to take a bump. Everybody can get ready for Leah Remini and the Church of Scientology, A&E, August 15th. That read and that bit is done. It is time for the two-time champion Chael Sonnen to claim his third crown. Get over to Jim Rome and the Smack Off. Until next week, I'm Chael Sonnen, and you are welcome.
Thanks for listening to You're Welcome with Chael Sonnen. Download new episodes every week at podcastone.com. That's podcastone.com.
HBO's Game of Thrones is back for its 7th season. Winter is finally here, and so are the White Walkers. Will the 7 kingdoms of Westeros survive the threat from the north, or will they fall in the looming war for the Iron Throne? After you're done watching an episode, join the discussion here on the Game of Thrones After Show on Podcast One. Every week, our hosts discuss each episode in detail, from shocking twists to fan theories, as the series chronicles the violent struggle among the realm's noble families for ultimate power. Join the fray every week on PodcastOne.com, the Podcast One app, or subscribe on Apple Podcasts.
GOP defeat. I'm Ed Donahue with an AP News Minute. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says Democrats in the Senate must be celebrating after the defeat of another GOP health care bill.
But the American people are hurting, and they need relief.
The Senate rejected a so-called skinny repeal to take out some provisions of the Obama Affordable Care Act. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Democrats aren't celebrating.
Obamacare was hardly perfect. It did a lot of good things, but it needs improvement. And I hope one part of turning that page is that we go back to regular order.
3 Republicans voted no. Arizona's John McCain, Maine's Susan Collins, and Alaska's Lisa Murkowski. Alabama Republican Mo Brooks says the defeat is Mitch McConnell's fault. President Trump tweeted 3 Republicans and 48 Democrats let the American people down, adding, as he said before, let Obamacare implode. I'm Ed Donahue.